Are you okay?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to share this and it's not. Hi. It's not coming up in my notifications here. Oh, there it is. Hello.
It should be coming up. I tagged you.
I know.
It should be in yours.
There we go.
All right.
Hi. You know, whenever we would do, when you were growing up, did you watch Romper Room?
Yes. And Wonderama.
I don't know Wonderama.
You don't remember Wonderama?
No, but guess what I do have today?
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
Wonder Woman socks.
Hey, Gina. Hey, Heather.
Am I foot in your face?
Yeah, it's all right. It happens.
Sorry. So it's Romper Room. So let's go. I see Heather and Christina and Gina and Vince. Hey, do you know what name they never said on Romper Room?
Heidi.
That's correct.
Mm.
It's a blessing and a curse of having an unusual name.
Yeah.
That nobody would ever say, oh, and I'd wait for it too. I would literally, because I believed
You never wrote in and said, hey.
I don't know how to write.
Did you know that
Right.
do you remember, this is going back earlier before that, Soupy Sales? Do you remember Soupy Sales? Even
Kind of. Was
dating
that like
myself
a clown
here.
guy?
No.
Did he wear like a messy suit?
Yes, he did. He did that. So I think it was Dick Van Dyke. I forget. But he basically told all the kids, he's like, hey, kids, go into mommy's pocketbook and take whatever money's in there and send it to, and gave the address. And they actually did it. People send. Well, no, I guess he made a little extra money. And that was cool.
Can you scroll it so I can see? Well, hello.
We didn't say Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Sorry, brother.
Look, that's how I felt.
Oh, really, Miley?
That's how I felt watching.
I just remember seeing that
I see Michael. I see Cedric.
I see Brad.
I see Brad.
Jane Ann. George.
Yes.
Jennifer.
What did Jane Ann say? I missed your comment.
Love the socks.
Oh, thank you.
Who doesn't?
Very, very special Wonder Woman socks.
Indeed.
And
we got Ellie a Wonder Woman Barbie
I'm indoctrinating her.
Plane.
I'm indoctrinating her. Although I had a conversation with some of my girlfriends the other night about Barbies, and you know what they told me they used to do with their Barbies? I'm not outing you. Don't worry. I won't say who it is, but you know.
Shave them?
Shave them?
Their heads.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, because
they made them have sex.
Huh.
I'm like, you did? Like,
What
I don't
age?
remember. Heather, did I ever make my Barbies have sex? I don't remember that. I mean, I don't, like 7. I'm thinking, whoa, that's scary, yeah. But hey, yes. I mean, whatever, right? But I don't remember getting to my Barbies naked and making them do things. I don't remember. All right, well, let's get down to it, huh? Enough naked Barbie talk and Wonder Woman.
We should have, you know what? I bet if we put that in what we were going to be talking about, we would have gotten more viewers. Yeah.
Wonder Woman socks.
Naked Barbies having sex, and we would have had a lot of people.
That's probably true. Let's change the title.
Okay. Hey, guys, if you want to share this, put in your comments or your title, Naked Barbies Having Sex, and then go ahead. That would be and
then we could just do that for a whole video. Just bring the Barbies and then just.
That wouldn't be awkward at all.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
Is that how your Barbies have sex?
I guess that's what I was thinking they would do, because there's no actual parts. It's just flat. So there's a lot of this going on. Yeah. Sounds like 7th grade all over again.
I can't believe
like
people
grade.
are still tuned in right now, which is also even more disturbing.
That's 9th grade.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So apparently, no, you didn't do that with the.
Doug looks
the
good for his age. 65.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it's true. So we had forewarned some of you on Friday when we had our conversation about the changes, the transformations that we had coming up. And if you notice in here, our Momentum Monday, we talk about legacy. And that's one of the things that we were driving to New York, right? I think it was going from New York to Pennsylvania or something.
Yeah, from New York to Pennsylvania last Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a conversation about what is it really that kind of drives and motivates, and what are some underlying things that.
Why are we on the planet?
Yeah, I guess.
Why are we here?
Why
are we here? What is this all for? What's the point of it all?
And then since we don't really know, we figured we might as well we'll make it up and then leave that legacy. And I guess also any parents out there, I think that became a new realization when when we had Elevie, we were like, oh my gosh,
what are we going to really teach her?
This is what is our legacy going to be through her? And then we realized that's what we've been doing as transformational healers, as spiritual sort of performers, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spiritual performer. You know who was a spiritual performer?
Alan Watts.
Jesus.
Yes.
He put on some shows.
Apparently.
I mean, but legit.
Yeah. Hey, Louis. Smooth Kendall isn't having any sex. Thanks. That's true, Tom.
I know. That's why there was all this. It was all rubbing, right, guys?
Not as far as you know, Heather.
What did she say?
She's going to say, now people are going to think I'm the one who made the Barbies have sex.
I don't think you did, nor do I remember doing that either.
It's not awkward.
So anyway, we were talking about what you really believe in, and you came up with what kept coming up for you over and over again was you want to leave a legacy.
Right.
And I think, especially for a lot of men in particular, and I know women can feel that way too, but really it's really about like, what am I leaving behind? Yeah, term it differently, right? But legacy was what kept coming up for you. So we did, me, the acronym queen. So we did the acronym for legacy. And then, so each week we're just going to be sitting with you guys, walking you through some of the things that we think, what things that you need to master in order to leave a legacy. And how do you do that?
Right. And part of that is we have an event coming up November 10th, and there are 6 Mondays before that, and there are 6 letters in legacy. So
would have it.
Just as good timing, we're just going to get together and talk about those each week, so that we have some opportunities for you all to kind of prep yourself as you come join us on November 10th. Which that event is Success Revolution, and really it's a mindset piece. It's really the fundamental of all the work that we do. We got to start with the right mindset, because we could teach you some of the coolest stuff, and we're going to share with you some things that we're going to be sharing, like teaching. If you are not in the right headspace, if you're not in the right mindset, it's
Success Revolution is really about coming to figure out, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you really want, and why do you want that? And that's what that day is spent to do. It's like, and then figure out a little bit of what's stopping you and start the process of annihilating those obstacles that are holding you back from what you really want. But I don't know about you, but working with people for so long, one of the toughest things for people is really figuring out what exactly is that they want. A lot of people that I work with, like, climb ladders that lean against the wrong wall. You hustle, you get up there and you go, what's the point? Like, why am I doing all this? Or it's not as successful as you thought it would be. You've been working, and
or they feel like they're in a wheel, and they're just going, going. And it's because they're not quite clear as to where they're going. So they just,
what do you really want?
And we talk about action being the antidote. And it does, though, need to be focused and directed action, because you could be strategically, running the wrong way. Like here we are in Florida, we're just a couple of miles west of the ocean. If we wanted to hit the ocean, we could get it going east, or west rather, but it would take us a really long time, because we have to go across the ocean when really it's really close. And sometimes just getting that distinction, we find that what we really want is a lot closer than we think.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's really miraculous to figure out what you thought you wanted isn't what you want. That's cool too. Just to be like have permission. A lot of the work that I end up doing is like helping people just have permission to want what it is that they want, because they feel like they're supposed to want something else. And
what I find anyway, is a lot of times people think they want stuff, and it's not the stuff. It's never the stuff. It's really what's deeper behind that.
What you think the stuff will give you, what feeling you think the stuff will give you.
And what it means to you.
So let's start with our L and crack open this week. And the L is
for learning from the past, learning from others' mistakes as well. I mean, that's one of the great things about part of leaving a legacy. One of the things we'll talk about is sharing your journey. And the truth is that first thing we got to do is kind of look at what have we done in the past? What has been successful? And here's what's interesting. Oftentimes, it's counterintuitive. I look back at my experiences, and some of the biggest successes I had came from taking the largest risks and really letting go of expectations. I look at my original success in music. Man, I had no business going to a studio and going, hey, I'll work here for nothing. I worked for free. As a matter of fact, I ended up paying them pretty much for an education, but I learned so much. But really, the truth is, what I learned was that the information, the opportunities are out there, and to let go of some expectations of
how you're going to learn it.
Yeah, how I'm going to learn it, or am I going to get paid for it, or
Right.
that kind of thing. And then same when then getting the opportunity with Tony, like, man, just picking up and leaving and just going out on the road and not having a home. Like, think about that, like just leaving everything behind and going, what's going to happen? I had to learn. When I look back, I go, oh my gosh, that's how I had that opportunity, was by just sort of letting go. And, you know, I'm talking about like deep learning. Like, of course we all learn some cool stuff that we share and all the things that we've experienced, but really what made it possible for us to have those experiences. And then taking the opportunity that we were together. I mean, we took an opportunity with Palm, and we had no idea what was really going to happen, but we were willing to take that risk, to let go, to challenge ourselves and be open to opportunity. Yes.
I remember, yes, thank you for sharing that, Doug. I remember when I was a young girl and I was really insecure, and I felt like I never wanted to look like I didn't know. I never wanted to be in a position where like I would look stupid. Was one of my biggest fears, was looking like an idiot, like I didn't know what I was doing. And so education was like really important to me, knowing things and knowing what I'm talking about. But here's what I know now. There's that kind of, I'm a lifelong learner. You built that library for me that has thousands and thousands of books. Yeah. Well, you did it for me. No. For us. And I mean, I'm dedicated to learning, but sometimes you get this really great opportunity in life to be around somebody else that teaches you. Sometimes you don't even know what it is you need to learn.
Yeah.
Like, you think you know it all, or you think, and so how do you know? Like, a lot of the people that we work with have done an incredible amount of work on themselves. They've learned, they've gone to seminars, they've gone to retreats, they've gone through treatment, they've gone through all these things where they like learn about themselves. But there is no true learning unless it's assimilated into your life. Unless the great, like John Maxwell always says, the greatest gap in life is between knowing and doing. And if you look at, like, you might say, well, I don't want to come to this thing, or I don't want to do that because I already know that. But unless you're being it and assimilating it into your life, be willing to look back and say, let me look at my life as a realist. And let me say, what am I not really, what in my life do I really need to learn that could change my life? Is it in the answer, where are you struggling? What area of your life are you struggling? So it's like one thing to just accumulate information. It's another thing to get so honest with yourself that you go, let me look around and see, well, what don't I really know that I need to know?
And then and sometimes, you know, you've heard the term shelf help.
Shelf help.
You know, you think you're going to learn the next strategy or learn the next thing. And really, education, the word education, I believe, I forget the etymology of it specifically, but it means to remember. So really what we're remembering is what we already know, and who we are at our core, and accessing that and then applying it. Because the truth is everything that we want, we already have. What
do you think you needed to learn in your life? The lesson that you needed to learn the most, that kept, because if it keeps coming up for you, that's a signal that that's something that you need to really learn.
I'm still learning it. I don't think I'll ever, you know, different parts of my life. I mean, the pattern that I'm always looking for, the pattern I've been running is just helping, being a servant leader, like helping people access more of themselves. And it's going back since I'm a little kid. Like, that's always what I've done and wanted to do. And it is a spiritual calling, I believe. And like, just to sound really simplistic and pragmatic, what I found is people who are happy, who are healthy, who are spiritually grounded, who are, you know, adding value, who just are feeling good, they don't go out and kill people. They don't go out and overdose on drugs. They don't beat their wives or their children or any of that kind of stuff. And I don't know if that will ever change my learning on how to be more effective in not only managing my life and my experience, and to be the best, you know, husband, the best father, the best son, the best friend. I'm still always learning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a particular.
For
how about
me,
you? Is there was a particular?
there is for sure. Like my biggest lessons in life have been learning how to speak my truth.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to like speak my truth in love. Learning how to my own value. Really learning the value.
Yeah, that's
and the
ongoing.
lesson that I'm currently learning, and that's why I teach those lessons because I had to learn them. My current lesson is the present moment.
Yeah.
And just continue to learn how to be in the present moment, because wrestling as a person who wrestles with anxiety, depression, living in the past, regretful of that stuff, or living anxious about the future. It's like, and I heard this really great teacher, I think Derek Lin it was, who was teaching on the Tao Te Ching, and he asked everybody, like, if you guys watching, just take a second and look at your watch. If you're wearing a watch, just look at your watch or look at your phone and look at the time on your phone. Now put it down. Now tell me what time it is. And 9 times out of 10, people have to look again at what time it is, because they literally just looked at it, but weren't even present when they were actually looking at the time, and have to look again and look again. And that's that feeling of when you walk into a room.
And then what time is it? You have to go, what time was it? And then recalculate.
Well, that's that feeling of like when I leave and I lock the door, but I have to remember, did I lock the door? And then I have to turn around and drive back, OCD, turn around, drive back in, did I lock the door? But if I was present in the locking of the door and not actually had my mind at the car instead of on the door, I would have remembered that I locked it.
Yep.
And I think that part of that success revolution, when people come to that event, there's a whole process of being just in the present moment, getting fully associated and present. And that out of that gratitude starts the swell of other beautiful things that start to come into your life, because in this moment, we have everything that we will ever need. This week, actually tomorrow, I'm going to do my live on the present moment, how to live in the present moment and get rid of anxiety.
When are you going to do that?
Tomorrow. So what do you guys think you need to learn? What's one thing that you feel like if you could really learn, assimilate into your life, that your life would change for the better dramatically, right? Is it speaking your truth? Is it living in the present moment? Is it not settling? Is it knowing your true value? Is it how to let go of old past hurt or resentment? Is it how to go after what you want when you're afraid? What is the thing you need to learn?
And one of the things that this whole conversation is about, to dovetail on what Heidi's talking about, is awareness, right? Is being more aware. Because the truth is, as Heidi shared with going out the door, we spend most of our time in a trance.
We're in a trance all the time.
Yeah.
We are in a trance watching this.
Yeah. We actually, the work we do is like to dehypnotize you, to interrupt the trance, because we go through life, we're not even realizing what it is we're focusing on anyway. We're just sort of like kind of squirrel, and then plus we're conditioned to buy it, and I'm also.
So that's another really great point too. It's like, I think one of my lessons in life has really, what I needed to learn was how to be intimate, how to be vulnerable in a relationship, how to be open, how to just be with another human being in a way that was authentic and not so guarded, because I didn't trust. And I actually had to unlearn a lot of the bad crap that I had learned, that put me in a box of like, a woman does this and a man does this, or feminine or masculine, or this is the games. And it really, what people would teach at the time were like games and strategies. And I had to like unlearn all of that to get presented, to say, okay, what do I really want? Well, I want to connect with another human being in a way that's authentic and genuine and real. Then why the hell am I playing games? Why am I? So when we talk about strategy, you could spend your whole life learning strategies that are completely ineffective, like driving the wrong way to go to the sunset or to the beach or whatever it is. And so it's not about learning as much as it is unlearning.
Yep.
Or
and reprogramming and reinventing. I mean, that's one of the things that we're really doing, is reinventing ourselves in different contexts.
And you're learning more about who you are. Because that's the thing, like who you've been might not necessarily, I say that all the time, who you are, most of us are not who we are, we're who we've needed to be. Mm-hmm. And so maybe some of you, what you could learn, the greatest thing you could learn is really like your authentic self. Who are you really truly? And what is your gift to the world? Why
and
are
then
you
and then be
here?
okay with it, because that's the other thing is
and not have your mother's plan for your life,
right,
your father's plan for your life, your
society's
spouse's
plan.
for
I
your
mean,
life.
that's the thing
Right.
too. We're now getting indoctrinated into comparison. I mean, if you're watching this right now, you're on basically technology that is influencing us in ways that we're not even aware of, that we're actually looking. I mean, hopefully we use it as a tool like we are right now. And it's very important that we recognize how we're using it, what is getting in our minds and all of that, because that's also programming us. And that
comparison, like you're fine until you start comparing yourself to other people.
Worst thing you could do. You want to feel like crap? Go on Facebook and look at other people and compare yourself to them.
But the goal of the event that's coming up, the Success Revolution event, is to really help people get represented to what it is that's going to really make you truly happy. What do you really want deep down? And then tap into the resources that you already have within you. Like we always talk about, I talk about Wu Wei, which is getting in touch with your spirit, your ultimate power, your ultimate potential, and really, and it's not in a religious way, like in the Yoda kind of way, like the force, right, within. And so we talk about how to come and illuminate that force, because the ego, which is like feeling like you have to do this and you're supposed to do that, it should be this way and it should be that way, the ego gets in the way of your true potential, kind of like the reality of your ultimate happiness, really. Right?
Which also,
it's supposed to look a certain way, it's supposed to be this way or that way.
And here's the dichotomy of this conversation, is that here we are talking about a legacy, and is that your ego, or is that just an awareness? Or is it an observation? Is it a genuine, authentic desire? And again, I just want to be clear, this isn't about your legacy change the world, right? You change your world, you do change the world.
Absolutely.
And we don't need to measure it by how many millions of followers we have, or how many likes we're getting, or how many comments we're getting, or anything like that.
What are people going to say when you go?
Right.
What are people going to feel in their presence today?
Right. And that's really the most important thing, is we've heard it, is it's not what you do, it's how you make people feel is what really lasts. And once you understand that, then you harness that in yourself, and then you show up the way you want to be kind of remembered. And then that's what Heidi just shared, is that's the way. You just are it. You be it. Yeah,
you just become who you really are. All of you, not just your ego, or not just your. So we really hope you join us for that, for the Success Revolution that's coming up November 10th.
Yep. And if you can't make it to that, please reach out to us, because we're going to be, we don't have the dates quite up yet, but if you're interested in learning how to essentially be a coach, or we're going to incorporate.
Well, this is what came about for a really long time. So my past is in business consulting and certifying coaches and that kind of a thing. I did that for a really long time. And your background as a trainer of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And so we're just combining everything that we've learned. And our goal is to help people. Obviously, when we work with people, we're the real deal, right? We're well trained, we know what we're doing, but what we find is there's a lot of people that are working as a life coach or in the coaching space that are kind of half-cocked. Like they attend a weekend warrior retreat or like a week-long certification program, and they really aren't as effective as they ultimately could be. Or it's dangerous to be working in that environment thinking that you're and working outside of your skill set. So we want to equip people with real tools, real strategies, real credentialing, so that people are able to go out and become a life coach and really be as effective as possible. So there'll be a certification process where you become a life coach, get really crystal clear on what your mission is, what your vision is for your practice, who you want to help, why you want to help them, what is your legacy, what are you going to be leaving behind and teaching, and then we're going to give you the skills to become a life coach and also certify you in NLP, which is all of the wonderful skill sets of every therapeutic intervention intervention that was ever known came together in one place and then taught to you, so that you are with a client, you have the like superhero tool belt where you're able to pull out whatever skills that you need to help that client have the breakthrough, the transformation, whatever it is that you really want to help them with. And so we're going to be opening that up in January. I believe that's what we're aiming for. So if you're interested in becoming a life coach or getting certified through us with NLP, or there's also speaker training and a lot of other things.
We're going to expand it. There'll be different levels that you can.
There'll be like, I just want certified here, or I want the speaker training, or I want this or that. And so it'll be like a little a la carte or the whole thing. But our mission is, part of our legacy is helping people help other people the way that we've helped people. like that's all we want to do. We want to now train commercial? Coaches to help other people instead of just us helping people all the time.
Yeah. If you remember the Wella commercial, that was the I told a friend who told a friend who told a friend and all that. So if we can help you help others, game changer, right?
Yeah.
I'll just leave the story that kind of ultimately set me on that path was, and actually Tony, it was at a Tony Robbins event. The event that I was at and the intervention that he did was recently put up on Facebook. I was at that event. So there's this little girl. So it was at my first UPW, and there's a little girl. She was 12 years old. And before the process, Tony elicited some limiting beliefs. And this one little girl shared that life was not worth living. And she had attempted suicide a number of times. She had been to some therapists and so forth. And one of the family members had such great experience with Tony, was like, oh, you got to, take her to this event. And he picked her to get her belief, and that's how she was there. And now Tony walks around on the floor and stuff, and he's really interactive. Back then, he wasn't as interactive as he was. He spent a lot more time on stage. And this time he went down there and he spent like 2.5 hours with her and did this intervention. And I was crying and we talked about this on Friday. I'm a crier, but this was like really powerful because, and it wasn't like I learned all the skills that Tony learned. I'm taught by Tony. I'm taught by the guys that taught Tony in NLP and hypnosis and all of that. But what was more important to me and what was really so moving was that I looked around the room and I saw other people that were so moved and that they wanted to go out and help people just the way Tony did. So the power in that, the tipping point, this is where we have a radical consciousness shift, is if that people can actually get out of their own way, make it not about them, and find ways to help other people, as opposed to making it all about them and wanting the credit and doing all that. But say, hey, look, I want to equip you. I want to help you be the best version of you, so you could lead by example and help other people be the best versions.
I love that, Doug. And you can be successful. Like, there are a lot of people who train certified life coaches that are like, you got the Maserati, right? And you rent the house and you talk about becoming really successful. And that's really great. And we want to be successful. We want you to be successful.
This is our beautiful house. We didn't rent it. We own it.
But but that's really not what it's about. Where we're about is psycho-spiritual life coaches, where you incorporate psycho-spiritual, where we deal with the mental aspects and the mind, but it's really about marrying the mind and the spirit, where you really tap into your ultimate truest potential. And so we're not about how much money you're going to make or whatever, and you will be, but you know what, if your goal is to help a lot of people, you will make a lot of money. It won't be an issue, but that's, for us, has never been the driver. And we certainly want to take into consideration what your driver is. Why are you wanting to do the work you want to do in the world, and how can we help you hone in that work? And I know people who their job for coaching is they want to teach money, mindset, and
it's totally cool.
That's wonderful.
We'll incorporate that, but it's going to be a part of a bigger picture for us. And it always is. Like, again, there's only so many ways you could draw a square. So what we're looking for is a way to help you connect to your spiritual highest calling, to add the most value possible, find out ways how you can spread that message, that's your message, that you could be the most effective, the most productive, and to
support your family,
impact
have a lifestyle that you want to have,
of course,
and then have it all.
And here's the trick. Really. We want you to do it and enjoy the process.
Right.
And that's really what it's all about. And Ray, is asking, "Hi, brother." So it's going to be November 10th in the Deerfield DoubleTree, 10 to 6. Please, you can show up earlier, of course. And hey, Steve, what's going on? So you can go to our site, revolutionarygrowth.com, and then look under events, and you'll see the experience there. And if you have any questions about coaching, about speaking, about
being certified,
any of that, please, message us. And got anything else?
I think that's it.
And this was helpful. Please let us know.
Yeah.
Add some comments. Share this if this was good. And if you have any other questions, stuff you'd like us to cover, next week we're going to be talking about the next letter of legacy, the E. And that one is
emotion.
Yes, emotions, experience, and energy, right? So the emotions, what is, and that goes back to state. It goes back to why you do what we do, and
it'll be good to talk about mastering emotions, because that, I know for me that was a big part of it. I felt like a crazy person. I'm up, I'm down. I am a crazy person. Now I know how to flow within the cray-cray.
Mm-hmm.
Like water, the water course way, like Alan Watts. You just flow in the cray-cray. You don't fight the cray-cray, you flow in the cray-cray.
And like Bruce Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So with that being
else?
said, let's see what we got here. That's actually, that's a double neck. Or we could go over here.
Look at these. That one's pretty cute. Is something breaking?
No. There's more.
Do you think Doug has a guitar problem? Slight.
Yeah.
Slight.
There you go. And see it? There's an Ibanez Iceman, an original Ibanez Iceman right there.
I know what none of this means.
It's a vintage, very cool guitar that is very heavy. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm a collector of sorts.
Deep in guitars. And then over here, there's acoustics.
There's 4 acoustics and a couple ukuleles on the wall. So with that being said, we love you for who you are and who you aren't. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please reach out. All right.
Love
God
you.
bless.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.